Welcome to the Praetorian Guard Installation on a Full SQL Server for Windows Domains training course. This course is designed to cover the installation of Praetorian Guard on a Microsoft domain that already has a SQL Server running. This is not for the Microsoft SQL Express version of SQL Server, which is free. This course covers the installation on a dedicated SQL Server that is any of the following editions: Workgroup, Standard, Enterprise, Datacenter, or others. Praetorian Guard is a Microsoft-based network management, network monitoring, and employee monitoring system from Microsoft Networks. Now, assuming you've already received your email from praetorianguard.net for the trial version, you should have a link that will allow you to download the installation file. Double-click that installation file. When you've double-clicked it, you should receive this prompt that will allow you to choose an extraction path. You can accept the C temp if that's available on your C drive. Now the package will unpack. Once the unpack is complete, you'll be prompted with the System Installation Wizard. Simply click Next at this first screen. Then you will be prompted for the Praetorian Guard license. If you agree to this license, simply click I agree and click Next. The first screen you come to where you make a selection, you have three possibilities: a new installation, which would assume you do not have Praetorian Guard running on your network, or you're installing a second version of Praetorian Guard. Number two, a reinstallation of an existing prefect. So you may have a new prefect that you're installing on a new server, but you want to continue with an existing database. Or third is the console installations. The console installations is how you can use this installation executable to install consoles on other PCs around the network or send them to people. We're going to choose a new installation. The next three options are is a trial homes and small business version, which uses the Microsoft SQL 2008 Express database. This is the free version of SQL. We are not doing that. That is covered in a separate course. The course we're covering is installing Praetorian Guard where you have an existing SQL Server running on one of the editions listed earlier, which would be the full install without SQL. PG Prefect Only allows you to install just the prefect with no consoles onto your prefect server. We actually want everything installed, so we're going to choose the full install. Next, you're prompted to enter your trial code, which you should have received in an email along with the download link. Simply copy your trial code and place it here. If the trial code is successful, you receive a check mark. If you receive an X, there's probably something wrong with your trial code. Please try to recopy it and put it in again. Then click Next. Next is the Praetorian Guard Prefect Credentials. This screen allows you to assign the credentials that will be used by the prefect service on the prefect server. Since we're on a domain, we need to choose a domain user. And in our sample database here, we have three different users. We have Prefect, Tribune, and Centurion. We've created Prefect for the Prefect service. Simply key in your username and password that you've assigned, as well as the domain, and validate. If it invalidates, then you've probably got a problem with your password. If you get a check mark, then you've successfully validated that this is a valid prefect user on the network and can be used for your prefect install. We recommend that this domain user is a domain admin for the prefect installation. This user will be assigned the DBO privileges of the new database that we're about to create. Simply click Next to move to the next step. Here we choose the database server and the authentication method for creating the database. At this point, you must key in the database server that you plan on using. And then validate. Now, I'm using Windows Authentication, so the user that I'm logged into on this server right now is also an administrator of the SQL Server, so I can create a database. If you do not have rights to do so, you will need to do SQL Authentication and use the SA, or another user that has DBO privileges. If you cannot use the SQL Authentication, then you will need to log onto this server with a Microsoft domain user that has the privileges to create a database on that SQL Server. You can click Advanced Configuration here to allow you to change the name of your database. So I can change the name to whatever I would like, and notice what happens. The actual file names are being altered. So this allows us to rename in one spot the database, and all the appropriate names are changed for the data files. In addition, you can also choose different database paths for each of your data files. The data files was the log file. In addition, we allow you to choose whether you wish us to auto-create statistics and update statistics, and what your recovery model may be for this database on your SQL Server. We recommend simple unless you have a DBO and can establish the correct maintenance programs for full. Now we can save what we've done here. And we can resume where we were. So we've authenticated, we've done our configuration for the database, and now we can click Next. The next screen is the Praetorian Guard prefix service settings. By default, we use the port 1776 for communication between the prefect and the tribunes. You are allowed to change this port provided it doesn't conflict with anything else on your server. In addition, here we have the PG admin user. The PG admin user is the first user that is required to log into the product to add additional domain users. Here you will need to key in a password that you can easily remember for your initial login into the product. Once you've keyed your passwords and they confirm, simply click Next. The next prompt allows you to choose where you would like to install your system consoles. There are 3 consoles with the Praetorian Guard product. System Administration Console, which allows you to administer the whole system and set it up. The User Auditing Console for monitoring users, and the Network Administration Console, which allows you to perform network administration duties. If these are fine with you, where they will be installed on the server, simply click Next. And finally, you are asked to confirm the installation. If everything is fine with you, please click Install. Now you can watch as the Praetorian Guard system is installed on your network. Upon completion, you should have 4 checkboxes. The prefect was installed, the System Administration Console was installed, the User Auditing Console was installed, and the Network Administration Console was installed. Now you can click Finish. Notice on your desktop you have 3 icons, which are each the consoles that you'll now use to log into the product. That completes our training course on the installation of Praetorian Guard on a full SQL Server for Windows domains. Please visit www.praetorianguard.net for any further questions that you may have or support. Thank you.